Welcome back to NBA Today. We are joined now by NBA Commissioner Adam Silver. Adam, thank you so much for taking the time to be here with us today.
Of course.
The games, they've been so much fun. They've been so great. They've been so fun to watch. We have a myriad of topics to get to today, so let's start here with ESPN's Baxter Holmes reporting that in a recent meeting with Phoenix Suns employees, you addressed possible solutions for tanking, reportedly saying we put teams on notice, and particularly this season ahead of Victor Wembanyama entering the draft. So what are the specific measures, the notices you're considering to prevent teams from tanking this season?
Well, let me just say, of course, that's not the reason I was in Phoenix talking to their staff. But, you know, after we talked about the situation there, I think I got some general questions about what was happening in the league. And so this whole notion of tanking came up. Nothing new in the league. And in fact, you know, as you know, Malika, shortly before the pandemic, you know, roughly 2019, we had changed the lottery odds yet once again. Not that I can say that we knew that Victor Wembanyama was coming precisely at this time, but we lowered the odds really essentially for the worst three teams in the league, and then for the fourth team only has a slightly better odds. So it's roughly around a 14% chance. So said differently, if you have the worst record or one of the worst records in the league, you have an 86% chance of not getting the top pick. So I think that's first and foremost one of the most important measures we've taken. And then on the flip side, we added the play-in tournament. And the idea of the play-in tournament is that if you're a team that starts slow or has an injury beginning early on in the season, that it's not worth throwing in the towel on the season because you can come back and actually make the playoffs. So those are the things we've done. I mentioned, and Baxter Holmes reported some other areas that we've looked at over the years. I can't say I was deadly serious about talking about relegation because we don't have the same system as European soccer, and it would make no sense to send an NBA team to the G League or the G League team up to the NBA. But obviously that's how other leagues deal with situations like this, where they force teams to stay competitive because the consequences of finishing at the bottom of the league are dramatically detrimental to the health of the team. But it's something, as I was saying to the folks there in Phoenix, that we keep our eye on. I mean, obviously we understand we're selling competition to our fans, and it doesn't mean that rebuilding isn't appropriate for certain teams. But incidentally, I view tanking, I know the way in which you're saying it, but certainly if we thought that players on the floor, there was anything happening in an organization that meant that a team was intentionally losing games, I view that very differently than an organization that is truly rebuilding, recognizing that they're going to need to restock with great talent in order to improve.
But with a once-in-a-generation player like Victor being slated to come into the league, have you reminded teams, had heightened conversations yet?
In a general way, we have. I mean, I think everyone understands that. As I said, I think most importantly, you're dealing with a 14% chance of getting the first pick, so teams understand that. I agreed. I was listening to part of the show from Ramona and Kendrick before I came on, talking about the basketball gods. I'm in that camp too. I recognize at the end of the day, analytics are what they are, and it's not about superstition. 14% chance arguably is better than 1% chance or no percent chance. But as I said, it doesn't, even in terms of the straightforward odds, it doesn't benefit a team to be the absolute worst in the league. And even if you're one of the poor performing teams, you're still dealing with a 14% chance. But I think it's one of these things, there's no perfect solution, but we still think a draft is the right way to rebuild your league over time. We still think it makes sense among partner teams, or actually a decision is made that the worst performing teams are in a position to restock with what the prospects of the best players coming in. So we haven't come up with a better system.
Let's talk expansion. Earlier this month, LeBron had this to say when he was asked about an NBA team coming to Vegas.
I would love to bring a team here at some point. That would be amazing. And I know Adam is in Abu Dhabi right now, I believe, but he probably sees every single interview and transcript that comes through from NBA players. So I want the team here, Adam. Thank you.
What's your response to LeBron here?
You know, he was right that even in Abu Dhabi, the news traveled quickly, you know, that he called me out. I mean, I'd say in all seriousness, I think it's very healthy for the league when you have this life cycle of players then moving into management, potentially moving into ownership. Obviously, Michael Jordan is the owner of Charlotte. You have David Robinson, San Antonio, Grant Hill in Atlanta. Shaq owned a piece of Sacramento for a while. So I think it's great for the ecosystem. I'm thrilled that LeBron aspires to be an NBA team owner one day. I'd say Las Vegas specifically, will make a great location for a franchise one day. We have a WNBA team there, the Aces, that obviously just won the championship. It's not on the front burner right now for the league. I think we've been very public about the fact we want to get through collective bargaining. We want to see where our new media deals come out, but then we'll turn back to expansion at some point.
Prior to the start of the season, Adam, a video was leaked of Draymond Green punching Jordan Poole at practice. When do altercations that are internal and between players rise to the league's purview?
I mean, everything rises to our purview. Obviously, we pay a lot of attention to what goes on at teams, and we had heard there was an altercation before the video had leaked. I would say in the first instance, when it's an internal team matter, we leave it to the team to handle. It doesn't mean we're not aware of how they're handling it. We have direct conversations with management of the teams. But if there's no reason to believe that it's not handled appropriately, meaning we're talking directly to the Players Association, representative of the players, and nobody's indicating that they feel a proper process isn't being followed, we would generally tend to be deferential. I mean, I've been around the league for a long time, so there are always special cases. There's reasons why we might become involved in a particular case. But I would say in this situation with the Warriors, enormous confidence in that franchise. So didn't see a reason for us to get directly involved.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.